Well, hey, welcome back to our Digital Ramble family. I'm JJ Cannon, and joining me, like always, like clockwork, Mr. Live Install himself, Chris Gamble. How are you doing, my friend?
Awesome, JJ. First show of 2019, so a big Happy New Year to you and to all our viewers and listeners out there.
Brother, I am so excited. 2018, was such an educational year, exploratory year on so many different, platforms for us, in new directions. And I am so excited applying what I've learned in 2018 to 2019. And we've just been creative and, exploring new ways of communicating our message. We've always had a really good product, but now our product is even stronger, and we have a platform to really talk about about what we can do for people in 2019.
Yeah, I think our industry in general has taken some huge leaps forward in the last year because of an increased output on the social media platforms, and businesses like ourselves are adding podcasting and YouTube videos to our output from our businesses. So it's all going to pay off. We see it happening all the time. The returns are coming in all the time from last year's efforts.
Today we're going to be talking about the smart home. And is 2019 the year of the smart home? You and I, we've been talking about this for a little bit, and we think that it is. And tomorrow, a huge conference starts out in Vegas, the CES conference, and it's really going to reveal what is available for consumers in 2019 for smart home and smart tech. I think 2019 is the year, brother.
Well, that shows at time of recording, it starts tomorrow, and it will have started by the time you listen to this, and it will take over the airwaves. It will take over all social media platforms. You will see stories coming out, minute by minute from that show, and we'll cover a few good social media accounts to follow later on in the show. We'll just cover what we're doing, and I'll shout out some of the good social media accounts to follow. But I'll be honest, I've said that it was the year of the smart home in 2014, 15, 16. I've said it every year. And
you've been right every year.
I genuinely, that is, honestly, it has been the year of the smart home. And every year, because it has got better and better, and it's continuing to grow and improve, and the experience gets richer, and the benefits it brings just get better and better, and more new things keep appearing that just continually makes every year the year of the smart home, because it's getting smarter.
Right, absolutely, as well as awareness, and adoption and comfortability, is that a word? Of people embracing, smart devices into their home. And so if you're one of those people who you're hearing all this smart home, network connectivity, today we're talking about planning for a smart home in 2019, a couple of key things that you need to understand before you really start just making purchases and starting to try to implement these smart devices into your home for the coming year.
What makes us kind of authorities on talking about smart home? What is it that makes us experts at discussing it? So JJ, just for the new viewers, listeners who haven't caught up with our previous episodes and our Facebook activity, just give us a little bit of background on you and what makes you one of the voices of the smart home game.
Gamble, I've been at this game for 20 years with Digital Delight, located here in the Houston, Texas area, and we have been focused on creating quality experiences through using technology. And as time has evolved and technology has changed, so is our business model. And service is where it's at. Education of where it's at. Aftercare support for managing these devices for our devices is for our clients is where it's at. I'm a father of two beautiful girls. I've been CEO of Digital Delight for many years. I enjoy business strategies and talking and discussing business strategies with other people. I also enjoy helping entrepreneurs grow their business through social media, as well as technology deployment and installations. A lot of people call us for that. And so, yeah, man, I've been in it for quite some time. I've had an incredible, run of meeting great people and deploying exciting solutions that people can actually use. And how about yourself, Gamble? Why are you such a, that role model for tech deployment? Because you are. Don't be shy.
Well, I'm a bit of a big mouth in smart home install. I'm never afraid to say what I see, and I'm never afraid to share my views, and that's helped accelerate my profile. Being in this game slightly less time. Just coming up for, or just over 10 years in smart home itself, but with a strong technical background prior to that in the military. And I run a company alongside my business partner and wife Anna. We run a small business in the east of England, and we've got hundreds and hundreds of clients and hundreds of installations happening every year. And we primarily work in what I would call the lower priced side of the market, so more affordable smart home installations using well-known brand names like Nest and Sonos and Google and Apple and Logitech and all the household favorites. And we cater to those clients who want technology that they've heard of and that they love already, but they want it professionally installed. And that's the service we provide, the installation, and then obviously the aftercare that goes along with that, and the upgrades and changes that they will make over the years, because smart home is a long-term game for the person who's involved in installing it. It's not a quick back. It's not an in and out type, investment and business plan. It's something you're going to be in for a long time, and the homeowners are also going to be in it for a long time. The technology is going to change. They're going to have to evolve and adapt with it. So they need that professional to guide them through it, and that's where we are experts, and we truly are, local experts to our customers, and we're able to help them far beyond what maybe big box stores and big brands are able to provide. They provide the tech, but we are definitely providing the know-how and the hands-on that's needed.
Right, absolutely. And friends, thank you again for joining us. I want to remind y'all to please hit that like button. If you'd be so kind to share the broadcast with your friends or family that might also be wanting to get their home to be smart. This is a great episode for them to listen to. If you are working with a builder or an architect or a designer, please share this content with them. You can also find us on this platform, but Instagram is really large for us too. Gamble does a fantastic job on keeping that information up to date. And so, Gamble, why don't we get into it? Let's talk about planning for a smart home in 2019.
Well, the first question is, we always say to our prospective clients is, do you need smart home? Do you need to live in a smart home? And quite often they'll say, well, maybe we don't. Maybe we don't need a smart home. But what happens is we always find a way for where smart home brings efficiency or greater entertainment or enhanced security. So we try and give a toe-to-toe or a head-to-head comparison between basic or dumb home and the smart home, and we always almost win the argument to say that smart is now and should be now the default choice for some very practical, simple additions to your home, all the way through to some complicated things that might be to do with security or automation or lighting or climate. But we have a good track record at the moment of fighting the corner for smart home being the default choice now.
Right, absolutely. In my family, I try to incorporate our solutions into my family's experience. And my latest integration was for some lighting control for my mom and dad, and they live out. They're in a rural area out in the rice fields of West Texas, and they've always had and they live in a 3-story home, and traditionally they've always gotten up to turn on the fan or turn on the lights. And my mom, all right, I'll my mom, she sets up 6 Christmas trees during the holiday season. All right, 6 trees. Who else does that? Please drop a comment if your mom does something unique, during the holiday season, or if your dad has a big model train, please drop it down in the comments. But my mom, 6 Christmas trees. And so she's getting a little older, and she has to crawl under the tree and unplug each or plug in each of the trees. So what I did was I went and got my family a Lutron Caseta control system. And part of that was the lamp dimmers. And so I was able to unify all those trees on a single dimmer, as well as put them on a schedule for them, that in the morning, whenever they woke up, the trees were already illuminated. And at night, the trees automatically turned off. Now, that's simple. And the trees are, 6 trees. It might take a little bit more time than the traditional pack up and put in the closet. But they will be able to move those control solutions, those dimmer systems, over to their lamps that they have placed, throughout their living room and in their bedroom. We also hooked up all their exterior lights, and so on a farm in a rural area, it gets dark, and sometimes you hear things and you want to have quick access to turn on the lights. Well, what if the lights were already turned on all the time for you? That we talk about that regularly. The lights just automatically are on at sunset. They automatically turn off at sunrise. My parents were, thank you. That's nice. I appreciate it. Now they're like, what else can we do? My dad, he was like, Jay, let me show you. And he's sitting over in his Easy Boy. He's retired, and he opens his phone because he's not really tech savvy. My parents are not tech like I am, and so Dad opens up his phone. He opens up the Lutron app. He hits fan. He's like, isn't that cool? And he didn't have to get up, and he turned the fan on, from his Easy Boy. And he's like, Jay, I did not think I needed this. I didn't realize what simple lighting control would do, or how I would gravitate to it. And so when we ask, where does somebody start, for their solutions, what pain points or things would you like to save time in or secure your property with? Those types of areas are areas that you could consider starting.
That's correct, and it's often a good place to start is identify something that's a little bit frustrating, or something that's taking a little bit too long. There's always an angle for smart home to save time, to add efficiency, to lower energy costs, to enhance the security of the home or a room or an outbuilding. There's always a smart method for increasing the entertainment experience in your lounge, in your bedroom, in your bathroom. There's so many areas where smart home systems, products, services can be applied room by room or service by service. And I always try and encourage customers to try and relieve the biggest frustrations first, deal with them. I call them easy wins for our business. If we deal with that, then we're on a winner. Because, like you touched upon, once you get a taste of this, there isn't a going back. Once you've added a positive experience through technology in someone's home as a professional, we see it a lot. We see the return. We see the comeback for more, the request for more. What else can we do? What else does this system work with? So it's important that we always give homeowners a taste first, and that's why we have a small, compact experience center for people to visit, because we know that they enjoy that touching that button and it turns on the lights with one press, or that single voice command transforms a room through adding music or TVs turning on, etc. So where does someone start? Look at things that frustrate you. Smart home can relieve that.
All right, absolutely. And there's a lot of guys like us out in the industry, some really good smart home tech professionals, on both sides of the water over in the UK and over here in the States. And if smart home is something that you're interested in, yet you don't necessarily want to try to do it yourself, although a lot of these devices are DIY, but you want to incorporate maybe a larger ecosystem, or it's just something that you don't feel comfortable with, drop us a message down below. We have a lot of people around the globe that we can put you in contact with and help you with doing solutions in your house.
A great way to find professionals in your area is through social media. You will find businesses on your doorstep that are showing off what they do with technology every day. It's either going to be in Instagram stories, it's going to be on Facebook posts. Look for hashtags smart home. Look for hashtags home tech. Look for hashtags like live install, where there's people publicly displaying their smart home prowess and are just one click away from you setting up that free survey or that meeting at their premises.
Gamble, I was just thinking, and in our office, we're talking about discovery and how can people find us better. And honestly, whenever I ask, whenever you're looking for a service provider, where do you go first? For us, it's Google. And
Sure.
definitely Google can get you in the right direction, but something that needs to be considered is social media like Instagram and Facebook. And the reason is the portfolio. You really can see the work that people are producing and get a really good understanding on setting your expectations on what you should see in return. And that's something that I don't think Google does. I mean, Google will find somebody, but really to understand, I think it's that next step of seeking them out on social media to look at their stories or to look at their pages and look at the comments and things of that nature.
Yeah, one of the things that you'll probably see consistently if you do start following smart home install businesses on social medias, you'll see them talk a lot about cables. We love our wires. You'll also see them talk a lot about Wi-Fi. But the reason for that is it's the infrastructure. It's the behind the scenes,
It's the
umbilical
foundation.
cord
It's the
between, yeah,
foundation.
it's the connections between devices that are done wirelessly or wired. So the Smart Home Pro will put a lot of importance on telling people about wires, and for some it's dull. I'm not totally turned on by it, although I have to deal with wires every day. I like to talk about other things, but you will see a lot of pros talk about the wired infrastructure needed in the home.
Right. And so getting back on the course, what infrastructure is needed, in a house. If somebody is, there's two kind of clientele, one that's building and one that is pre-existing.
Yeah.
And let's dabble into the one that is building.
If you're building, you owe it to that building, to that house or property, to put in some long lasting cables that are going to service rooms and areas in the home with connections for things like television, music, security, internet, blinds, lighting controls, climate controls, all the things that that makes up a smart home.
Well,
And don't be afraid to put in wiring that's maybe not what was put in 20 years ago. Look at embracing wiring that's needed for today's services and tomorrow's services, like fiber optic.
Fiber optic for sure. And if you're building, I just want to emphasize, get yourself a professional in there. They can definitely guide you through whatever the correct type of infrastructure is necessary for running your home correctly. And a couple of the areas of infrastructure that you want to focus on is network. Like Gamble was saying, the network is the foundation for all the technology that we're going to be deploying in that house. And that network needs to have reliable internet connection, reliable networking infrastructure, which is traditionally Cat 5, but also Cat 6, and then fiber optic, and then wireless. You know, if you have a device that can, the way that we spec it is, if that device has a network jack, we want to hardwire it. You only want to put devices on the wireless if it's designed that way. An example would be your mobile device or your tablet or your laptop or your Harmony Hub. You know, you put those on your wireless, you put that on your network, and then everything builds on top of that network.
Yeah, and that should be secure. It should be something that's easy to manage. And the trend we see now with wireless networks is the ability for the homeowner, the mum or the dad, to manage the Wi-Fi. You know, kick a kid off the Xbox, pause a smartphone when somebody's had too much screen time. And so look for Wi-Fi systems that give you the power to be the ruler of the internet. I love telling customers that they're in charge of all the internet.
Yeah, and they're like, really? I can do that? Yes, you can. Yeah, absolutely. You know, something else that, you know, infrastructure that people need to be concerned with, or that we've seen as being a big concern, is security. And that can come in several different flavors. Your traditional doors and windows, you know, that's pretty much old school security, and you can run wires if you need to. But honestly, wireless security is very, very reliable and can save you quite a bit of money if you continue to go with that wireless feature. And the wireless devices can be countersunk into your door jamb, so it's not this big, you know, door wart on there, you know, for wireless transmission. There is some flexibility there. But security can also be in the sense of, we touched on it a little bit, lighting control. So you never come home to a dark home, or security in the sense that if you get up in the middle of the night and a motion sensor detects you, or you say a voice command, you can illuminate a pathway of light. And security can also come in the facet of shades. You could also use shades for security.
And the biggest security, or the most popular, is still cameras, doorbells, and indoor and outdoor cameras. And again, a wired security camera, much better. You know, we do see battery options becoming available. You're always going to need that camera when the batteries have run flat. It's going to be the thing that you forgot to do, and it's the time when maybe there is an incident at home. So having, even if they're wireless cameras, make sure that they're powered up by the mains power. You know, the main just need a Wi-Fi connection, but make sure that they've got permanent power. That's something I always recommend, that you go for wired, at least got some permanent power onto the cameras. And doorbells, you know, multi-purpose security devices that are the convenience of knowing someone's at the door, but ultimately the eyes and ears when you're not at home. So look for smart doorbells where you would traditionally have a dumb, plain old, normal doorbell.
You know, a couple of other things that we make smart are items like thermostats and irrigation control systems. And the infrastructure that those devices need is wireless. They need good, reliable communication to the network. Again, that's why we say networking is the foundation of everything that we build upon, because it's not only the devices that are inside your house, but the devices that are outside your house, in the sense of irrigation controls and garage doors and gates and things like that, that you would need to connect and incorporate into your smart home.
We always set the benchmark for our Wi-Fi systems we put into homes is from front gate to back fence. and from basement to top floor. It has to cover almost every inch of that property. You need your Wi-Fi, whether you're at the bottom of the garden or you're lying on your sofa. You should have the same speeds.
The cool thing about all these devices that we're talking about and the infrastructure is access. The interfaces. I mean, getting all this smart stuff is cool, but like, I am not that smart. How am I going to control all of these devices? And there are a variety of different ways to accessing and communicating and making choices. And, voice control is huge. It's not.
That's the easiest. Voice is the easiest one now for me.
Right.
Just a quick short story, just a quick one. My mother-in-law, always very afraid of tech and was always very confused when she came to my home and, I don't know how to control your lights or TV. We got her an Echo Dot for her kitchen, and she is loving it. She's had it a week now. She's never forgotten to set that timer now. She's never forgotten her shopping list, her reminders. She is a full convert. So there's a success story of voice, and the kitchen's a great place to have a voice assistant.
You said it's your grandmother?
My mother-in-law.
Your mother-in-law?
Yeah,
okay.
My wife's mother.
Yeah. And she's not tech savvy at all, and
zero.
Yeah, I mean, it's hands-free information. Yeah. Just ask. That's ask. That's cool. And
so
then so voice. Yeah, go ahead, Gamble.
Yeah, voice, and then the one that's always in your pocket is the smartphone, or nearby is the tablet, that touch screen that's with you. Pull up the app. The phone or the tablet may also have a voice assistant built in, so you can use it as both for voice and as a touch screen. What else we on? Mobile devices and remote controls. That convenient handheld that might be beside the sofa as you're lounging, it just there, that old faithful in your hand remote control.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Gamble, I think that smart home is still going to continue to dominate in 2019. And, people are wanting to plan to turn their regular home, their traditional home, into a smart home. And I think 2019 is really going to be an exciting year to see huge embrace of what we've been doing for quite some time. So it's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, man.
So, are we ready for one of our regular spots? Last time at Gamble Ramble to end the year, we're going to kickstart the year with some cannon fire.
Yeah, I got something to say.
Good. I'm going to take a seat back and listen. I'm going to tune into this.
It'll be a short cannon fire because we're coming up on our time here. But I just want to get into industry associations and networking groups. I am heavily involved and invested in industry associations. Financially, I am very time involved in networking groups, and communicating with different people. And I've found that in our industry, whenever I'm attending or communicating with people in my industry association, it brings like-minded technology professionals together under one roof. It's a great environment for us to give some push and pull on ideas and challenges that we might be facing in our industry. Because what's exciting is that although we're in the technology field, technology is so broad that somebody might be doing something different in their industry that I can take and implement into my business. And I find tremendous value in industry associations. I think it also creates a space for people to network and challenge ideas, in the sense that, one of our biggest idea challenges, Gamble, is something that we were shaking up the industry with last year. And, definitely we're going to continue to shake up the industry this year with it, is re-engineering how smart homes systems are designed and deployed. And for many years, people feel that you have to stack a closet full of gear. There are some applications that it's just absolutely necessary. There's just no way that you can do it without using a rack. But I'm here to tell you there's a lot of ways that you can do it without using a rack, which in turn saves you a tremendous amount of money in one area and allows you to invest that money in other areas to make your home even smarter by doing simple things like lighting control or irrigation control or controlling your garage. And so I'm excited to continue to present those ideas of why we see a major shift from custom to consumer devices and the experience that it brings to end users. I also enjoy industry associations because of the face-to-face with global manufacturers. In the associations that I've been participating in, they have expos and conventions and things like that. And I build relationships over the years with manufacturers on the phone or via email. And there's something about meeting people face to face and shaking their hand and looking them in the eye and sharing with them your ideas of how you're doing business and how you're using their product to create experiences in ways that they didn't even realize were possible. And sometimes emails and phone conversations just doesn't express it like it does whenever you're face to face. And so I really enjoy that aspect about industry associations and networking groups. Now, you got the flip side. You got some people in there that don't necessarily see eye to eye with exactly what you're putting down. And sometimes it's a little scary whenever we start sharing ideas because it might reveal something that you might not have thought of as a challenge in your business. And I've been faced with that in the sense of, oh my gosh, I didn't see that coming. Or, oh my goodness, I should be in that space. And I think it's healthy for us to push back. One thing that I would love industry associations and networking groups to do is to promote ourselves, promote the professionals that support those individuals, support those that support the associations. I think there's a lot better job that can be done with that outside of technology's changing and educational platforms are changing. And so I'd like to see industry association embrace what we are trying to do as dealers in educating clients on why we're doing and providing the solutions that we are. And the reason you need a professional to do that, oh, by the way, there is an industry that can facilitate the most highly engineered systems as well as the most affordable solutions. So that's my cannon fire for this week's episode, Gamble. And I'm excited to see what my associations, my network groups, have to offer in 2019 and see how we can all grow together.
Well, I'm gonna put out an open invitation for 2019. Any industry association, board members, management, staff, they want to come on the show.
Council members.
Tell us what they're up to this year. We'd love to know what's planned for our industry, for the people that are behind the scenes promoting it and educating professionals within the industry. So open invitation, anyone from the big organizations out there in the smart home space that want to come on and have a chat with us, and we do a full episode on this. As many people as you want to come on with, we can have a bit of a debate on this. Looking ahead, JJ, to next week, we cannot ignore CES. There's going to be so much news around this. We're going to go deep into the biggest stories from CES, all these ones that are starting to come out now already, rumored of big screen TVs with voice assistants and
And,
HomeKit enabled doorbells, which I'm getting super excited about.
and Gamble, I mean, if people go over to ces.tech and you just look at their welcome page, it's all about what we've been talking about and installing for years. It's amazing of what those guys have coming out for 2019. Next week's going to
All
be a
social
big
media,
show.
yeah, all social media platforms look for hashtag CES 2019. Get all over that hashtag, set up your alerts, make it part of your daily ritual to just see what's hot from that news. Follow companies like The Verge, TechCrunch, all the Tech Daily, Alexa skills that are out there. They'll give you the rundown from CES. Even ask your Echo device for news from CES. There's some good skills out there for that.
Yeah, and Gamble, I'm just trying to edit my notes here to make sure that I put that hashtag into our description here, and any links that we've mentioned are going to be down in our description as well. And next week, if we have time, because it's going to be a big week, but we're going to start talking a lot about 5G. And people might have heard, 5G. What is 5G? Why do I need it? Is it going to impact my life? Yes, and yes. You need all that because 5G is going to change everything. It's truly, as important as the network is for your house, 5G is the network for IoT around the globe. And it's just absolutely going to change everything.
It's certainly the big network for IoT. There's going to be others, and we'll touch upon them in upcoming shows. So, everyone, episode 6 is a wrap. I would love to remind you all again to like, share, and subscribe to all the outlets that Digital Ramble is on. Look for us on Facebook, look for us on Twitter, Instagram, engage with us. Join our Facebook group if you wish as well. There's a Digital Ramble Facebook group. Ask for access to that. And don't be afraid to get in touch with this show. Through Anchor, you're able to dial in and leave us a voicemail message. That's a nice feature we'd love people to use. And you will hear that on the podcast audio only. So engage with the show. We'd really love to hear from our listeners.
Hey, Mike, bring that track up. Gamble, it has been absolutely fantastic seeing you again this week. I cannot wait until next week. You're looking sharp as always. Next week is going to be an exciting week for you. I'm really excited for you, Gamble. You got a new one on the way. And so congratulations, Gamble.
We'll have news of a new arrival. Our biggest fan, our second or one of our new fans will be on the scene. So, JJ, great to catch up with you, and good to start the year with some cannon fire.
Absolutely. You take care, Gamble Ramble. Mike, take us out.